because I've run into a problem, Keith.
Yeah.
I went to Twitch to set up the stream, but then I found this very weird channel where an AI is hosting a race of all AIs.
I was gonna say, who's this girl? Is she part of the game? But now I'm seeing that this is a Twitch channel.
And I don't know what game this
is.
It looks bad.
Exciting AI race car action on the track.
Well, it's exciting AI race car on the track.
When I first tuned in, it
says bet race.
Bet race.
Amundsen versus run button. That's you.
Yeah, it said, hey, type a thing in the chat and you get to pick a car, and so I did, and then it like put my name into the thing, and I was like, whoa, I didn't ask for that, but okay.
A close battle between
Whatever.
Bardo in an Alpine A110 and Run Button in a Porsche 912R.
It's supposed to be Alpine.
Deplorably unclines to 13, overtaking bot Jack Cinderbox Toltai.
When I tuned in, the camera cutting was freaking out, and it was really funny. I was like, oh, the AI can't even pick how to look at this.
That might just be part of the game. There might just be a cinematic option in the game.
Okay, sorry, no more of that. Instead, iRacing. Welcome to my very first iRacing stream, Keith. When I assume Keith is dead.
I'm here. I'm trying.
But
oh yeah, I am dead though.
Okay, he's either alive or a ghost. Either way, I think probably the same outcome for our purposes. So
there's two kinds of people.
Yeah,
living and ghosts.
Yeah, you're either living or you're ghosting. Okay, this seems. I'm gonna turn this down a bit. Just seems like it's getting really hot.
Did you know that getting a car wash in a Cybertruck voids your warranty?
I think I did hear that, but yeah,
I just heard about this.
So funny.
If taking the Cybertruck to an automatic car wash is necessary, car wash mode closes all windows, locks the charge port, and disables windshield wipers, sentry mode, and walk away door locking to enable touch controls. Then car wash, your vehicle must stay stationary and not be actively charging. Caution, failure to put Cybertruck in car wash mode may result in damage. Damage caused by car washes is not covered by warranty.
Good.
Although that doesn't say that getting a car wash damages it. It just says that if
not putting it in car wash mode.
Well, it says that if it gets damaged by a car wash, it's not covered. It's slightly different than getting a car wash avoids it. Although if you get water damage and you tell them that you got a car wash, then it doesn't even matter if the car wash is what did it.
I can already tell you. First of all, if you could hop over to Twitch and see what my voice sounds like, I would appreciate it, because I can't tell if it's clipping or something.
You sound a little hot to me.
Yeah.
But I may have you just turned up. No, I have you at 100. Yeah, you sound a little hot, but
I knowing what I know about Tesla and their manufacturing of cars and the Cybertruck, absolutely no chance I would, even if the stainless steel was protected, I wouldn't trust that thing could take a car wash.
Right. Well, I'll tell you this, it can't take a crash, which is a main thing that a car needs to be able to take. You could turn me up a little bit, just a bit, just a little bit.
Good idea. I just need to find you. Oh,
were you streaming that other stream?
Yeah, that was on the stream. How do I turn you up? Where are you?
Volume.
Now? You're over here.
You can right click on me in Discord. I could turn me up.
Right
I could go
here?
I can go louder. I don't know.
No. Oh,
I can see you.
We got it. User volume 2. You motherfucker.
What?
You're already at 200.
At 200?
Turn yourself up.
Oh, all right. But you should maybe consider turning me up in OBS. Instead, then I would turn me down in Discord and turn me way up in OBS. That's what I would do. Look at or X.
Well,
you're streaming with OBS.
I was about to say this is my first ever OBS stream.
Okay, so let's look at OBS together.
No,
you're sharing screen.
Audio, desktop audio is at 100%. Discord's at 100%. You're at 200%.
No, that's not where you turn up in Discord. Open the Discord window. Let me share it with me. Share your Discord with me. I mean, not Discord.
Right
sorry,
here,
OBS.
sorry.
Yeah, I meant OBS. Share your OBS
Shit.
with me.
Okay.
Okay. It is at 100. Look at that.
By the way, this is Sora. This is a thing I photoshopped. It's really funny.
Oh, from Kingdom Hearts.
I was doing a thing in photo mode where I try to time the photo snap with his blink so he comes out looking high.
Okay.
But he kind of looked sort of sinister and was sort of smiling. And so I photoshopped him in front of a burning house, just like that meme with the little girl. And he looks just like he lit the house on fire. It's pretty good.
The meme with the little girl.
You know, Disaster Girl, where she's in front of a burning house and she's smiling, like, and it looks like she did it.
I don't know a lot about memes.
Come on.
That's a classic.
Like
pictures, right? Memes
it's like a classic.
Pictures. Disaster Girl. Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah.
We sound fine, by the way. I took another listen. I think we're even. I think that maybe it was just that 1 second.
Cool, we'll take it. I will have to get your opinion on the game volume once we're in that game volume.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, iRacing. I've put a ton of time into it over the past 4 months, but I've always wanted to stream it, but I never have because it's
iRacing, uRacing.
It's
uRacing.
Really ha 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 ha. Cheryl loves to do that where she comes in and goes like, uRacing, and then I never remember she's doing a thing, and I'm like, yeah. And she's like, no, you're supposed to say iRacing.
Well, we can tell that I've got those comedy chops because you could tell right away what I was doing.
Yeah, that's right. You served it to me on a platter.
Yeah. Some people need things served on a platter or they don't know it's food.
iRacing is meant to be a really realistic racing sim, and so it's really hard to play. I'm not very good at it, and I assume that streaming it while I play it will make me even worse.
I think it might make you better because it's more like real driving.
Wow, good point.
Here's a question. If you're bad at iRacing, does that mean you're bad at driving? Because if it's realistic, surely that means that it's just like driving.
Well, I mean, I don't normally drive at 100 miles an hour.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. I have 100% perfect one-to-one control over my vehicle at all times.
Yeah.
If you don't, then something's wrong.
I actually happen to think I'm a very good driver, but of course we all know that fact about how people who think they're good drivers tend to not be good drivers. So I try not to, hold on to that one.
I'm a good driver. I hold on to it tight. It's just it's just like politics where everybody on earth thinks that their politics are right, but someone's got to be right.
No,
and it's me.
It's the other drivers who are wrong.
I'm a courteous driver. I don't speed. I also don't drive too slow. I let people go when there's space to let people go, but not when when there's no one behind me. So it's just as easy if they go behind me. I don't drive in the fast lane. I stick to the lane. I stick to the non-passing lanes.
That's so great. Anyways, we're talking about
I'm a very good driver.
I said I was bad at iRacing, but I didn't. I think I'm pretty good for how I'm ranked. But that's something that sets iRacing apart. Is it's known for its matchmaking system. That you're always grouped. Obviously just regular matchmaking. You're just grouped with people who are ranked around your level, so that it's always a competitive race. But supposedly, this is something that really sets iRacing apart from a lot of other racing games, because I don't think they do any kind of matchmaking, and so you're just dumped in with it's like the world's best players against like assholes that are going the wrong way on the track and stuff like that.
What kind of car do you drive?
I have mostly been focusing on the Miata League, which is like their it's a subscription-based game, so it's $10 a month, but the Miata League and all the tracks are completely free. So that's the one thing that you can play without paying any additional money.
And what's your rank? It looks like your overall, sorry, that's oval rank. You're rank D?
I'm class D, so well, interesting. What I was happy to find when I turned this game on, they recently split the road license into Formula and sports car separate, which is good.
Right, but you're D in both.
Because, well, it just copied me in both.
Okay.
I used to be rank C, class C, when they were combined, but I wasn't good enough. I did too many crashes, and I got demoted back down to D. So I'm trying to work my way back up. You know, that's where I'm at. I'm trying to dig myself out of the hole.
All right. I just posted about this on Twitter, the famous X.com.
I did also I only have
my favorite website.
Oh, God, X.com. X.com. Twitter, you mean Twitter, currently known as X.com, I think you mean.
Sorry, it's X forever. And I'm actually getting that tattooed.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. X, the everything app.
The everything app. God, I can't wait until it's a bank. I'm going to do my banking on this thing.
Oh, shit. Oh, man.
What? Why is that funny?
No, nothing.
Wait, why is that funny?
You should definitely keep your money in a thing owned by Elon Musk. It'll work out really well for you, probably.
Yeah, he's got so much money. He surely knows what he's doing.
Oh, the other thing about iRacing is the way the races go on a schedule. So these Mazda races, they take about half an hour. They're only once every hour. So we're actually 18 minutes from the next race, which is fine because it gives us plenty of time to practice.
Okay, let's practice.
I also discovered this is how, if you get really into iRacing, you can easily eat like an entire Saturday because
you're always waiting for the next race.
Yeah, you finish one
waiting
race.
For track time.
You finish one race and then you're like, hey, I got 15 minutes to practice before the next race, and then that cycle just goes for 6 hours. So we'll register for the next race, and then we'll.
It is kind of funny. It does just sort of describe how video games work.
Yeah,
you start playing it, and then you keep playing it because you want to keep playing it.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden, time has passed.
Yeah. Well, I just mean this. It's how it coaxes you into wasting time. You know.
Yeah.
Helanini says, I want a Miata so bad. Don't we all? Stupid question. Do you have to manually shift gears? Oh my God. What a stupid question that was. Of course I have to shift gears.
Can you drive an automatic? Is it even an option?
It is an option in the game. I don't think it's an option like in this league here.
Okay. There's just not cars that are just like, yeah, this is just an automatic sports car.
Yeah. Controversial among the iRacing community is that this rookie Mazda league used to have an H pattern 6-speed shifter, meaning that if you're really playing it, you have the stick with the 6 different things, and it's where you could like blow up your engine if you mean to shift into third and you accidentally go into first. And they changed it to now the rookie league just has the paddle shift sequential gearbox so that you cannot blow up your engine.
Why is it bad to blow up your engine in a video game? The engine's not real.
The car stops working and you have to get towed. You have to get virtually towed back to your virtual pit lane, and then you have to actually
Wouldn't it be funny if you got
virtually repaired?
Wouldn't it be funny if you got towed and Toad came out from the Mushroom Kingdom?
Oh man!
When you get towed, it just means that Toad comes out.
If that's not already a thing that happens in Mario Kart, get fucked, Nintendo.
Of course, it's not. You've played Mario Kart. You know that your engines don't explode in that game.
Well,
hey, why aren't you practicing?
It's actually Lakitu that. I just want to point out that I painted my car and I think it looks nice.
It's a setup identical to baseline there, but your mouse was in the way, so I thought it said super identical to baseline.
Yeah.
There's Toad right there.
Because
if it panned up a little bit, you could see his mushroom head.
Let me pull up OBS just so I can see what the people are seeing. Where OBS? Okay. Yeah, all right, let's go.
Playing in a window?
I'm playing in a window because
this ought to be good.
It was doing that thing where like it still had my taskbar up at the top.
Yeah.
Which meant that it was wrongly shaped in the OBS window, and so it was putting black bars at the top and bottom.
Huh.
We're here at the world-famous Laguna Seca Raceway,
Wow.
or as it's currently known, the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca.
Yeah. I love that.
I fucking hate it. I hate it. It sucks.
I just think that every stadium, just get rid of all the historic names. I just want everything to be a bank or a real estate firm.
The Allstate Insurance Circuit at Le Mans. 24 hours of Cash App race.
You know what I just downloaded I just legally downloaded for my Dreamcast.
Ooh.
The Le Mans like 24-hour racing sim thing that they had for the Dreamcast.
That was a thing they made?
Yeah, they made a fucking 24-hour full Le Mans thing.
And I don't even have to ask. I don't even have to ask if it really has a 24-hour mode, because I know it does.
It totally does. That's the main mode, I think. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, that's good. Le Mans, famously known as the desert bus of professional motorsport.
You want to know the worst? Speaking of sport arena titles, one of my least favorite ones.
Sorry, I'll turn on the hands. I forgot the hands are off.
Well, you're tanking your time here. Oh, you just restarted.
Show driver arms. You're welcome, people. I'm doing this for you.
There they are. There are the arms.
Red gloves. I kind of sleepwalked into like an all red thing in iRacing.
Oh, you have. Look at that.
But
it's sleek.
To me, it's a tactical decision because red makes it go faster.
Yeah. Would you like to hear? Because baseball is the only one that I know any of the names of the stadiums. Would you like to hear some of the worst baseball stadium names?
I would love to hear some of the worst baseball stadium names. Okay,
starting out with the worst of the worst. Guaranteed Rate Field for the Chicago White Sox. Close behind it, you ready for this one? Lone Depot Park for the Marlins.
Oh, that's good. And this is actually extremely motorsport, especially for America, because they have like the Go Bowling 700 and stuff.
Jesus Christ.
The Camping World Trucks, Auto League.
Yeah. This one is a sleeper bad. It's called Great American Ballpark, but Great American is just like a real estate insurance company. It sounds like a real name, but then you're like, oh, that's
bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
What the fuck was that for? I'm giving that guy a sarcastic thanks. What was that for?
Are these real people?
Yeah, what a douchebag.
So you're practicing with real people?
Yeah, these are the real people that are going to be in the real race.
Wow. I thought you were just going to be practicing with AI.
No.
Let's see, what else is bad?
This is the worst pit exit in motorsport, according to me.
There's just a couple that are all just like, there's like a Chase Bank Park, and then there's like City Field, and then there's Citizens Bank. Like those are just all like just named after banks.
Yeah.
And those are like the like the better of the bad ones. When it's just a bank. Like at least it's not a horrible thing like a guaranteed rate.
Yeah, I remember like when Gillette Stadium became Gillette Stadium, and I said to my dad, like, oh, that sucks. The stadium's named after a shaving company. He's like, well, it's better than what it was before, which was like CDHP Field or something. It was just like some tech company no one's heard of.
There's only a couple stadiums left that have like actual names for things that aren't like a shitty bank. There's like Yankees, Wrigley. Oh no, Wrigley's the Gum. It just has been forever. I didn't even.
Oh wow! I had no idea.
It's the Gum. Yeah, I totally forgot. Yeah,
amazing.
Wrigley. But it's just been that forever. So it got ingrained. Pretty soon, you know, give it 75 years, and Petco Park is gonna feel the same way. But yeah, it's just like Fenway and the Yankees. And
well, no one remembers that it was originally Fenway Park because it was named for Fenway girders. That's why they had all those girders that were directly in front of the seats. It was advertising for Fenway.
No, there is a weird origin for the name somewhere. It was like a I can't remember what the fucking thing was. Let's see. Name. The Taylor claimed the name Fenway Park came from its location in the Fenway neighborhood of Boston, which was created late in the 19th century by filling in the marshland or the fens. Oh, the Back Bay Fens. Right.
Wow.
Fenway.
Wow, the fen in Fenway is from actual
It's from an actual fen.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Baseball stadiums, tragic. The best of the worst is actually probably the worst field in baseball.
Bad idea.
Tropicana Field in Florida. At least it's kind of on theme.
Sure, Tropicana.
You got a toy car on the left.
Well, I mean, but
they were famously, their product placement was all over I Love Lucy, and that's why Ricky was always performing there.
What?
Ricky was always performing at the Tropicana, but I don't.
Oh.
I always assumed it didn't have anything to do with Tropicana beverages, but now I don't know. I don't know.
I have never seen 1 second of I Love Lucy, so there you go.
Really?
I have no idea what the Tropicana Club is.
It was all over Nick at Night.
I was not watching Nick at Night when I Love Lucy was on it, or I was switching to Cartoon Network.
It's really good. You know?
Okay.
All those people that were like, Lucille Ball, what a star, they were totally correct.
All right.
Yeah.
I believe it. I have nothing against it. It's just there's a lot of TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm
right here. Whoa.
What are these fucking these people are not taking it serious.
These cars are hard to drive. I'm making it look easy, my friend.
That person was doing donuts.
No, that person was spinning out.
No, they were intentionally
no, don't worry, dude. Just keep watching long enough. You'll see me accidentally do donuts.
Okay. Why isn't it just easier to drive the cars? I just feel like I could do this in real life with no problem.
Well, I guess we'll have our chance if we ever go race
we gotta go to that Mazda park.
We gotta go to Lime Rock Park. And don't think I'm not thinking about that constantly.
Well, you brought it up.
Yeah.
Fog Foliage says, I hate the Tropicana Stadium because it's ugly. Yeah, it's a terrible stadium. It just has an appropriate name as far as shitty corporations go. Harvey says, rip to the 1-800-Ask Gary Amphitheater.
Hey, how's the Crypto.com stadium doing, or whatever the hell?
Still named that for another year or two. Yeah. Crypto Stadium or whatever. I actually don't even remember where that is.
Was it Crypto.com?
Las Vegas?
I thought it was.
I thought it was just crypto. Crypto.com Arena. Yeah, multi-purpose arena in Los Angeles, California.
A little hot.
Formerly Staples Center, another name that sounds like
I know,
place,
right?
Just because it's been around for so long.
Literally, my reaction just then was like, I can't believe they renamed the Staples Center to Crypto.com, but who fucking cares? It's Staples.
Yeah, it's Staples. Yeah. It's so funny that sports, despite basically sucking shit, make billions and billions of dollars and are still like, you know what we got to do? Make even more money by absolutely naming this giant stadium that was already paid for by taxpayers.
I know.
A big advertisement.
We really got to make our return on this stadium we forced the county.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't pay for the stadium. I don't pay. I barely pay for the players. It's generating money hand over fist. You know what I should do? I should make a laughably bad name to rake in even more undeserved dough. I'm trying to modulate what I want to say about people who own sports teams, but
please be kind.
I just want to drown them. I just want to drown them in a big river to death.
Well, now, Keith, if rich old white men didn't own sports teams, who would?
I don't know. I guess that's a good point. I guess
the answer is no
sense.
one. The answer is they don't need to be owned by someone.
And all the Green Bay Packers fans will tell you that first thing. And then you'll ask them, well, what do you get for your share of the Packers? And they'll say, I think it's the Packers anyway. And then they'll say, I guess nothing. I guess it's never done anything for me.
Well, they got those cheesehead foam things they wear.
Yeah, they have to buy those, though. They don't get free foam heads.
Keep to the right. Clear on the left.
Mother.
Kind of a lame.
But you just drove faster.
Well, it's kind of whatever. It was weird. It's
you should call it a clean pass.
It shouldn't. Well, I bumped into them. But they really should have given me space. It was kind of weird. It was like I kind of didn't have the space, but it shouldn't have worked anyways. But
why would they give you space to pass them? That seems counterproductive.
Well, it's like because you lose safety points. Both of you lose safety points if your cars touch.
Is that real?
Yeah. So, like
isn't the goal to win in real life?
In real life, there's judges watching, and they will like subtract or they will add time to your time if you do some bullshit like nudging another car out of the way, or like if someone is just clear. Like in F1, they have a rule where like you can block once. So if someone's coming up on your left, you can move to the left to block them. But if they're just faster and they can go around you, like, you just have to let them go around you. You can't, like, just weave back and forth forever.
Is this an advancement in racing rules? Did you used to be able to block forever?
I think it's always been different depending on, you know, what things you're doing. Okay, thank you for that, sir. That was very necessary just now.
Safety points, subtract, add 20 seconds, kill him.
Yeah, I'm gonna go kill this person.
See, I just say kill everybody, so you can't take anything I say serious. I'll just randomly accuse random people.
I think so.
Be killed for no reason.
There's no since we're practicing, the safety points aren't real.
Yeah,
but I think I could still, like, if I slammed into this person in a really egregious way, they could actually report me, and a mod could look at a replay of it in 8 weeks or whenever they get to it. I have no idea, and determine like, yeah, that was unsporting, and I could actually like get banned or something
from practice.
I have no idea, but definitely stuff like that happens. Probably not from practice, you're right. But there's also like there's strict chat conduct rules, so you absolutely will get banned for like being like overly insulting and rude to people.
Now, here's a question. I see this line that you're following.
Yeah.
Is that real, or is it just like did they figure out what the absolute most efficient route is for a car and then show it to you? Or is it just like, this is sort of probably your best case line? This is where most people will do the best following this line.
I think it's a lot more like that second one.
Okay.
Let's see, and we're already starting. How quick our 18 minutes of practice went by.
Wow.
I didn't even get a chance to kill that person.
Wow. Oh, no.
All right, so we'll qualify. So I will...
What was that list?
I have it set to anytime a game session ends, it automatically prompts me to save the replay. That way I can't forget to save a replay if I want to.
And for me, when a session ends, it automatically prompts me to tell people that they can go to contentburger.biz to find the Run Button Patreon and sign up to give Run Button some money every month.
Thank you so much to everybody who already does that. I appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Oh, actually, we get 3 more minutes of practice here. But up here, 3 minutes of practice, then 8 minutes of qualifying or 2 laps, whichever comes first. Usually 2 laps. It would be kind of crazy if it was the
super
other
identical to baseline.
Yeah, here in the Rookie League, everyone has an identical setup, but in the higher ranked leagues, or whatever,
you
the
can
words
tune?
are. Yeah, you tune your car, and that's where, of course, you're going to get a real advantage if you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, and
of course I do.
This driver line here, of course, another thing highly controversial. It's actually off by default, and the iRacing people, I think, don't really like people to use it. But it's really hard to not use it. It's very addictive.
I think you should turn the line off.
No, I can't turn the line off now. This track's too hard.
I think you should do one with the line, and then we should do it again without the line.
No, because without the line, it's deceptively difficult because when you're using the line is your braking marker. Like it's telling you when to use your brakes. And without the line, you have to pick points like on the side of the road at each point in the track, and I haven't done that. And I'm about to go into
What do you mean to pick points? What does that mean?
Right here, like 1, 2, 3. It's like, I start braking at the 2. But if there's not signs, you might be like, I start braking when I get close to this, I don't know, this edge here. When I see this edge come up, I know it's time to get on the gas or something.
So you get your own markers to put?
No.
You can't just know, I got a turn coming up, so I should brake.
Well, yeah, but it's like you have to be really precise with it if you're, like that guy. You need to be really precise with it. So it's not just like, I generally start braking somewhere.
It's like you need to be precise with it, and I'm fine.
Right. And you know what? I think motorsport needs more Mavericks like you.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Do I have to start iRacing so that I can best your times on a controller with no line?
Say again?
Do I have to start playing iRacing so I can best your times on a controller with no line?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, that would be incredible.
I just have this feeling that I'm like a savant.
I definitely
think
prodigy, that
racing
you should
prodigy.
Get a Logitech wheel and prove it.
The wheels are so expensive, and if I bought something like that, it would be a flight stick for Microsoft Flight Simulator and not a racing.
Nah, get the wheel. The wheel is good. It lets you drive a Miata.
Right, but the flight stick lets you fly a plane, which is better. I think that just in the hierarchy of vehicles, it's just better.
Listen, they have that $80 Thrustmaster one. That's only $20 more than my stick shift.
It's not enough.
What do you mean?
Is this the race? Are you racing or are you practicing?
So this is my in-lap on qualifying. So nothing's happening right now, though I still can get docked safety rating if I lose control of my car or go off the track. So I definitely don't want to do that. And
does it count there where you're on the rumble a little bit? Does that count?
No, you can get it. It's different. It's different for every spot on every track, but it's like when your car is like more than halfway off the road or something.
Okay.
But it is like they really will. Some tracks they have to make ad hoc rules for certain corners and stuff, and that gets translated into the game. So it's like you basically have to learn this is how far out you can go on this corner versus this other corner.
I like that turn. How do they design racing? How do they know what kind of turns are going to be fun?
I think...
And I mean in real life.
There's all different kinds of ways. Some, I think the oldest ones are kind of they had old World War II airfields that weren't being used, so they just, added some stuff to it.
Yeah.
I know in modern racetrack design, there's this prolific guy named Tilka, and he makes really good tracks, but he's now criticized for making the same good track every time. So like when a new track is made, people will be like, oh, it's another Tokadrome. It always has a section like this, and it always has a section like that.
It's good to have a signature style.
Yeah.
Ironicus is or was here, being blocked by my mic stand, and said, that's where I watch all my games. I assume that means guaranteed rate field, which I think that I knew that Ironicus was a White Sox fan. That sounds like something that I knew.
Oh, you don't think they go to Laguna Seca every Sunday?
I don't think so. Is that in?
That's the track we're on right now.
Oh, that's here. What state is this in?
I have no, well, it's not in America, I don't think. So I actually have no clue. And now you know how little I know about Laguna Seca.
Well, it's not near Chicago, and it doesn't look near Chicago. It's not named like it would be near Chicago.
But you could buy some Bubba Burgers.
You could buy some Bubba Burgers. I might. So, what other cars do you drive?
I've done some like dirt track truck stuff. That was
Laguna
really
Seca
fun.
is in California.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry, you've done some what stuff?
So it used to be Mexico, if you think about it.
Right, Mexico. I guess it depends what part of California, but I think probably Mexico.
There's like a rookie truck league on dirt tracks that I've done that some. That's been pretty fun.
Okay.
I bought a Porsche 911 GT3 when I got to C rank,
sequel to GT2,
and I tried to drive it, and I failed very quickly and many times in a row, because it turns out that I went to like a YouTube guide, like how do you drive this thing, and they were like, it's hard because the engine is placed like around the headlights of the person behind you. So it's just like all of the weight is directly in the back and you just spin out on every turn. But
why would they make a car that's hard to drive? Wouldn't the goal be to make it easy to drive?
Because if you're good at driving it, it's very fast.
Surely it doesn't change the speed to have the engine pushing the car forward than pulling the car forward.
You'll just have to talk to the engineers at Porsche about that one.
No, I'm pretty sure that I could engineer a car fine and that it doesn't make a difference. I'm pretty sure I'd be really good at engineering a car. That's my favorite bit, that little S thing. That's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to look at. It sucks to learn how to do. It's really, really easy to spin out on. I'm actually, I'm glad I haven't gone off the track or anything, but it really makes my criticisms of how hard it is to drive here pretty hollow.
Yeah, you seem to be doing pretty good.
I'm relying on that.
See, your current time is 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Wow.
Chicken flag, chicken flag.
Let's see. It sounds like we qualified in third. Well, not bad.
Third place.
Yeah, we're gonna start in third place. Fourth place now. Fourth place.
Glenn Hopkins, Harry Jackson 2.
This is
Patrick Schweitzer.
This is a game where you are forced to use the name that is on the credit or debit card you use to sign up for the game.
Why? And how did someone's credit card say Juan Diaz 8?
Oh, that's the 8th person named Juan Diaz. So
that plays iRacing?
Yeah.
Again, Harry Jackson 2 got in there early.
There aren't as many Kyle Churchills on iRacing as Juan Diaz's or Eric Rodriguez's.
Well, you don't know that. There could be thousands of Kyle Churchills that signed up after you did.
That's true.
You could just have been leading the way for the Kyles.
In the last couple months, probably. Yeah. I tend to think of myself as a sort of thought leader among Kyles.
Yeah, I think that's true. Kyles are mostly dumb shits. So.
Well, you know,
Come
but they're
on.
my dumb shits though.
I saw you frowning at that.
I don't know if I was frowning. You can't see my frown.
I saw you have a very
Listen, we
telegraph your frown. Yeah,
we know that I have RBF. That's not, you know, that's
resting
just,
bad frown.
that's just genetic. You know, I was just born with that.
Tim Reeb.
But
Seems like a typo.
I can't drive my Porsche GT3 anymore because I'm not in Class C. Oh, sorry, I can drive it. I just can't. I can't compete in the actual racing league that used it. Racing series, whatever.
I bet you can get back up to Class C.
I'm sure that I can.
Class C license.
But I also bought a Class D.
Does it do that
Porsche
when you get up to a new class?
Now. What's that?
So
it does that.
Yeah, it does that. Okay. So you bought a Class E Porsche?
A Class D Porsche.
D. Okay.
So
the letter D.
We can try that after this if we're still.
As a letter, is so overrepresented in the spelling of the other letters. That's going to be a multi-million-dollar deal for the letter E.
The estimated SOF is...
A has no E in it.
What?
B, C, D, E, F, G, all have E's. H, no E. I, no E. J, no E. K, no E. L has an E.
Oh my God.
M has an E. N has an E. Way overrepresented in terms of how to spell the different letters.
That is true.
That's got to be, I don't know, $15-16 million.
This is the only time I use my clutch, is the launch. Hold the clutch and then rev it and then like let the clutch go.
Why?
That's how you start fast. And that's specifically how it was recommended by people to do in the Miata in iRacing.
I believe it.
We are waiting for other people. The game just added in the thing that when it gets down to waiting for 2 and 1 people, it has a voice cue to let you know that.
The looks to the left and the right are very jarring.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh,
not specifically you doing it over and over again, but just the way the camera just cuts to.
Green flag.
Wow, immediate pass.
Yeah. Let's go.
In second, nearly in front. We're doing it.
Whoa!
Clear.
That person almost did it. Whoa!
Clear.
Wow, I cannot believe that you both avoided. I mean, really, you avoided collisions there.
My Patrick, what are you doing?
This person seems absolutely satisfied to hit your car.
Yeah.
Despite, maybe they don't know about the safety rating.
Maybe they don't know.
This seems to be a safety rating simulator, is what I've come to understand.
It really is. It is highly crucial to succeeding. Ooh, they're letting me pass. Thank you.
Clear.
I would never let another driver pass. I'd rather die.
Yeah, that was very generous. Or maybe I just interpreted it that way. Maybe that's not what I,
Yeah. Driving a car is a lot of psychological projection onto other drivers.
Totally. And that's why I don't like doing it on roads.
This is why I think I'm a good driver. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
I'm psychologically incapable.
What is the white? The white line just means coast, right?
Yeah. Am I really in 4th? That sounds wrong.
I thought you were in 1st.
I think it just hasn't updated yet.
Oh, maybe it only updates on the laps?
I've spent a lot of time...
I can't even see the people behind you. You're seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's
You're
definitely
like
delayed.
8 seconds ahead.
It'll maybe update now, I think.
You're in clear.
There he goes. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Don't get cocky.
What? Why not?
Because you'll go too fast.
But I'm beating them so good though.
Right. So then that means that you can take your time and go easy, lose a couple seconds on those tough turns.
Okay. But what if my victory's illegitimate because none of them are using the line and they're being more authentic?
Well, it definitely is illegitimate because of that, yes. Is this going to be your first place on this track?
Ooh, on this track it might be actually. I've only gotten like 3 first places ever.
Wow. Don't quit your day job.
Racing is hard. I mean, even people who do quit their day jobs sometimes don't get first place that much.
Yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't have quit. Unless people go to contentburger.biz and give us some money. Maybe you can quit your day job.
Donating to us could help you quit your day job. That's seed money.
No, sorry. It won't help you quit your day job, listener. It will help Kyle quit their day job.
Oh, okay.
You're so far ahead, I can't even see the people behind you.
And
11 seconds ahead.
It's true. It's really true. It is funny how deceptive the rear view mirror here is, though. Objects are definitely closer than they appear. There'll be times when I pass the finish line and I'll be like, there was no one in my mirror. I was so far ahead of everyone. And it's like, they are like 50 feet behind me. They're like right there.
Well, we'll see.
Ah!
Your last lap was your best lap. And it was faster than any of your practice laps by a few seconds. By about 2 seconds.
Well, it's the heat of competition that brings out the fire.
There's that car. That last car behind you just turned that corner.
Oh, you can see a car behind me in the mirror?
Yeah, I totally can.
Oh, shit. You're right. Yeah, it's maybe the quick glances that makes it even harder to spot the little specks.
I've been watching the mirror like enough to see how far behind they are. There they are. They're just going under the bridge now. They've definitely gained on you from a couple minutes ago, but you're still pretty.
It's pretty. Oh, it's ahead. It's. I was gonna say it's probably not the same person, and it's not. It's Camilo Perez. Camilo's a man's name.
You don't have to follow the line so closely that you veer off of the straight line you're on just to go off the track.
That might have been me scratching my knee just now. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. It looked like you went off the track a little bit to follow the line, even though you had like a perfect straight line already.
It's kind of losing control momentarily just there. Person now like crept up on me.
Yeah. How many laps do you got?
Got 6 more laps to go.
Oh my god, 10 laps?
This isn't even a long one.
Getting bored.
Yeah. that was also like part of the reason it took me so long to stream this is like it's a super hard game, and when you do good, it makes it look boring. And it's just the same thing.
It looks like you're driving along an empty track 10 times.
Yeah. I'm not feeling good about my chances of holding on to first place at this rate, but we'll see what happens.
The car behind holding on to get the 1 second.
Shut up! Whose side are you on?
Obviously on someone else's side. On Camilo's side. You gotta get off those rumble strips.
Oh shit. Oh man. Oh, this is it. I fucked up.
Go on your left.
Oh, I went way too far and just let them have it.
Far.
Oh, brutal.
That person was like, wow, thanks for letting me pass.
Yeah, that person's like, wow, they let me pass. Why'd they do that?
Yeah, why did they just break?
I wouldn't have done that. I would have been.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have just braked sooner and kept in my first place lead.
Whoa!
Whoa. Hey, this pit guy that you've got here, adding nothing. He adds nothing. He doesn't do anything.
Do you think I should shell out for the Dale Earnhardt Jr. pack?
Does he talk more and give you better information?
Probably not.
Then no.
Probably just says it in a more like kind of American way.
Dale Earnhardt voice.
Dale Earnhardt, a large figure in the iRacing community. He's a big fan of the game.
He's tall.
Big fan of the game, and he even there was like I think it was Irwindale. There was some like old American
Icewind Dale.
oh, look at this guy.
Oh no, blinking out. He's waiting for Toad.
I think there was some NASCAR track called Irwindale that had been out of use for years, and they like Dale Earnhardt
You can catch
Jr.
this guy.
I could catch this guy. Dale
he's
like headed a project
increasing his
to like.
lead. The key is to just use the line to keep cheating. Sorry, tell me about Icewind Dale.
I'm trying to shift up on 7,100 RPMs, by the way. If anyone's like, what are they using to shift?
What do you mean, what are you using? Like what number?
Like what, yeah, like what marker, basically.
I wouldn't have even thought to ask that.
Well, it has these lights up here, and someone might be wondering, like, why do they keep shifting before the red lights in the middle come on?
Oh, I could tell that was your RPM, and that you were shifting before it got full, but that just, I just do things by sound and
you could just naturally feel that it's the right thing to do.
Totally, yeah.
You looked and you were just like, yeah.
I've watched movies, so I know what it sounds like when it's time to shift.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I just follow my heart. I just have racing in my blood, I guess.
Ooh, be careful not to get an embolism from that.
Well, the cars are tiny.
Okay.
They're carlets. Wow, this person's smoking you now.
Yeah, but they could spin out on this turn though.
They could spin out on any turn.
I could have rounded the corner and found them backwards on the curb. That's not what happened, but it could have happened.
This person is also in D with you.
Yeah.
So at any point they could lose control and do what you did.
No, actually, this is a rookie league, but it's open to anyone. So this person could be a Class A license holder.
Oh, Class A license. Maybe they just have a better car than you.
It would be if you're like a real crazy taxi head, you can pull all of the negative things that guy says to you, like, "Ooh, better luck next time."
Fuck. I was just playing Crazy Taxi last week, but I don't have him.
This person's creeping away from me.
Although one of them is don't quit your day job.
They crept up and now they're creeping away.
Crept up and away, up and away.
Oh yeah, Dale Jr. He wanted to get this old track Irwindale added into iRacing, and iRacing does like laser scans of all the tracks. So they went and like cleaned up the track and got it scanned in and stuff. And that, I guess, both in actually literally helping to clean up the track and to kind of like get people talking about it again. Now people
You mean help clean it up as in he went down there with a broom?
Like literally like taking tree branches off the track and stuff.
Wow. Good for him.
And I guess now they're racing at Irwindale again. It is a functioning raceway once more. Yay.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's a fun story.
Why is it called Irwindale?
It's probably in Irwindale if I had to guess.
They should rename it to
some guy named Irwin was like, this will be my Dale from now on. And one day they'll have a racetrack, and then another day they'll stop using it, and then another day they'll start using it again.
And then there'll be this thing called video games. Erwin, you're crazy.
2 left to go. 2 to go.
2 to go. I really want that.
Why is he Australian?
I don't know.
Why did you hire an Australian?
That is the default. I don't know.
It's called the pitmaster, right? When you barbecue pits and also call races for your driver.
Oh shit! Oh god!
Oh, you got it.
No,
Did
that
you
was
lap that person?
yeah. That person was
Struggling.
perhaps very nice to not let me crash into them.
Well, they're getting lapped, so
Yeah. Oh yeah, you don't have to tell me when you're lapped in this game. You get a blue flag, and we all know that blue flags mean you have to move over and let the lapping racer overtake you. But hey, ask me if everyone in this game knows that and follows the rule every time.
does everybody who
No,
plays
they
this
don't.
game know
Keith,
that?
they don't do that.
Why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pride.
They're banana heads.
What?
They got potassium coming out their ears.
Hey, you shaved another 3/4 of a second off your best time.
Ooh. Well, I have to.
So you've done your best since being passed, which is how much faster this other guy's going.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it's not Camillo. It's Juan Diaz 8. Oh, they, you know, jeez, common name, uncommon skill.
Wow. Common name, uncommon skill.
White flag. Stay smooth.
White flag. What does that mean?
I'll stay smooth just for you. It means final lap. Coming up on the final lap.
This is lap 8. Surely there's 2 more laps. Okay, there you go. Now you're wrong. Is this the person?
This person needs to move over for me.
Clear.
Oh, okay.
Even if I suck going around this corner, don't mind me, lapped person. That's not for you to worry about.
I thought that you were getting close to the person, but they're so far
No,
ahead.
they took off. Yeah. Oops.
Maybe they crashed and got towed.
It could happen.
Happen. No, you're still in position.
No, it says they're 8 seconds ahead of me. I'm pretty sure it didn't happen.
Wow, slow and steady, huh? I mean, fast and steady, I guess. But they definitely weren't. They weren't behind. They had to pass everyone else first because you were in first right away, basically, for 4 whole laps.
Oh.
You might remember it.
I do actually recall that. I recall being reminded
Thinking
it
back,
could be my
cast your
first
mind
win
back.
on Laguna Seca. I remember being reminded of that.
Cast your mind back to a time where you were in first place. Mere minutes
Seeing
ago.
that now, I see the tree that I line up to take the corner from.
And how did you feel?
I felt like I went down the hill and the road rose up to meet me. And I said, that's something.
That's something.
And the person ahead of me was already past the finish line. Can we see him? We can't even see him. They're so far ahead.
No, so far ahead. Yeah, I was looking for him last time you had a big stretch.
Oh, they just did a 138 on this track. I didn't even have a chance.
Jeez. You're best. You're somewhere between 141 and 143 and a
Great
half.
job. You did really well.
I did really well. See?
Number
That guy
2.
was supportive, not like you.
He was supportive.
Thank
Well,
God I
for
have
me,
the
if
Australian
you're
guy.
in first place, you're in last place, and if you're not in first place, you're a pile of shit.
You're not winning, you're dying. They say. Rubbing is racing.
Ironically, it says pro racers should also get the magic line, and then we really see something out there. I feel like they've got to know, right? They've got to look at things.
They're
Just memorizing.
The pro racers quite literally have it burned into their memory. They do not need the line. I was listening to a podcast where one of the hosts was a woman, and she was like, got to ride around a track with an F1 driver to interview them, and he would like to try to show off to her, like, did half a lap looking at her instead of the road because he knew the track so well.
Wow. And that's why you told me she was a woman, because that's how I would know that he would feel comfortable enough to look at her.
I think it's just part of the story that Sergio Perez is being a little bit of a creep when he was being interviewed.
That's what I mean. Yeah, because it would have been gay to look at a man for a whole lap. Are you kidding me?
Oh, dude. I mean, hey, if you want to get into some of the politics that swirl around F1, you might be right in it at this point. Yeah, I think the same person had, like, as a fun interview question, she would pull out a picture of Chris Angel and then ask the driver how attractive they thought he was on a scale of 1 to 10. And some drivers just kind of, like, won't answer. They're like, I don't understand the question.
Why Chris Angel?
This is a man. I think it's because she has a crush on Chris Angel and everyone else hates Chris Angel, and so that's, like, funny.
You're talking about the magician, right?
Yeah. For a second, I was like, wait, is Chris Angel someone else?
No,
did I get it wrong?
Thought maybe there was a driver named Chris Angel, because I'm just like, because that would have made more sense that there was a driver I never heard of named Chris Angel that someone had a crush on versus the mind freak himself.
The mind freak himself. Juan Diaz didn't qualify, so they, like, started, like, almost in last and then won the race. Fun for them. Almost first Laguna Seca win. Wow, we got it. Oh, what the? Oh, okay.
My favorite magic trick, actually, Chris Angel. He did this magic trick where a truck drove onto him.
Oh, yeah.
And then that's it. He just had the truck on him.
I know. There's
really, really cool. I was like, how do you do it?
Yeah. And, like,
this fucking guy's a mind freak. How do you do that?
Someone recently reminded me there was that show, The Masked Magician, who was, like, revealing the secrets of different magic tricks, and like, I think David Blaine and a couple other famous magicians did legitimately get mad at this guy, and it's like, yeah, I think we were
he was doing Penn and Teller's act.
Yeah, I think we're kind of, like, reaching the end of traditional magic here, because this is when magic was now like, I stayed inside a house made of ice for 24 hours. Like, what was that? I guess Houdini did getting punched in the stomach as, like, a magic trick.
My real famous magic trick, my real favorite magic trick is actually what happened was David Blaine was with Harrison Ford, and he pulled out a card from the grapefruit that was on his counter, and there was a card inside, and and Harrison Ford was like, "This is my card," and Harrison Ford's reaction was so funny. I was like, "He did it! He charmed me again." Harrison Ford, he's magic.
Yeah,
favorite.
He reacted. He didn't react, but it was the lack of reaction.
He was so proud. Blank stare for 15 seconds, and then he said, "Get the fuck out of my house."
Yeah,
is what he said. And that was my favorite magic trick. Was Harrison Ford once again magically charming me through the screen?
Where's our Porsche? Here's the Porsche I couldn't drive. Maybe we can do a.
Did you go up in your rating at all?
Oh, I did. I went up a bit here. Let's see. Go down to results. Click on, we'll view those results. I increased by 0.17 my safety rating. Because you get
0.17.
You get positive safety points, like, basically every time you finish a turn on a course without making a mistake. So it's like the longer you go on the track without making a mistake, you get more points.
What about your class?
My I rating. Well, the safety rating affects the class license.
Okay.
It's my I rating is my skill.
Whoa, calm down.
This is my I rating here.
Whoa, calm down.
I am.
Whoa.
Oh, because I'm irate. Is that what's happening? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, that was it. That was
it. Okay, good. That's fun. Yeah, wow, it's fun. It's fun when words can mean multiple things.
Yeah. I was thinking that right as I was saying it.
Yeah. Here's my D license. I have 2.7 safety rating. I want to get it up to 3. We see down here 2.7 out of 3, And then
not ready for season
then
promotion.
Once I get to 3, I'll be ready for season promotion, which means I'll rank up at the end of the season. But here's the thing. There's like another month or 2 in the season. We don't want to wait all that time. So what we really want to do is get all the way up to 4, past 3 and up to 4, and then we will automatically rank up to Class C.
Wow. I don't think you can do it.
But I've already done it once before.
You've already gone from 2 2.2 to 4 within 1 month?
Yes.
Okay, well then I believe you. I just saw how little it moved. I saw how little it moved from one race, and I'm like, surely with having to wait 2-3 hours between rounds, you're never gonna make it.
Well, oh my gosh. Well, you can sometimes you can juggle 2 different race things. Like maybe there's one that'll start in the next 5 minutes, and then it'll get done in time for something else. And, you can grind up safety points on your own in practice.
True. Yeah, grind those safety points.
Yeah, true. It is true.
That's true. How many safety points did that practice get you?
Oh. Did it get me? Did this practice get me points? These practices don't get me points. I think the practices, it's not a practice, a test drive, I think, is a different thing that may...
Another racing game I've been playing, Sega Rally 2.
Oh, for a Dreamcast.
For the Sega Dreamcast.
Cool.
You know what I was thinking? You know what? And I've never said this before.
Never.
It's time for a Dreamcast 2. Come on, Sega, get back into the hardware game.
Oh my God, you're right.
I think that they're the only ones that can save us. Only Sega can do it.
This is so true.
Because, obviously, the last generation of consoles, besides the Switch, they're busts. Total busts. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Really, nothing happened. It was just a whole generation of nothing happened.
Nothing.
The Switch, of course, was phenomenal, but it's also the one that everyone's mad at.
I think
because it's not powerful.
iRacing actually crashed that time.
Oh, that's so sad.
I'm gonna try out that Porsche that I can't drive on Lime Rock Park, the track in Connecticut that I will totally go to someday.
Someone commented on an old Mario video about Gunpei Yokoi.
Oh yeah. What are they talking shit about? Yokoi-san?
No. Actually, we were talking shit about. No, we were talking shit. We were talking about Yokoi's reputation after the Virtual Boy, and how the commonly held belief that he was sort of forced to retire or promoted into not having a job anymore and then having to retire based on that, or wanting to, and then going on to develop the Tamagotchi.
The Wonder Swan. I thought we were
and the Wonder Swan.
He worked on the Tamagotchi.
He not worked on. He was like the main Tamagotchi guy.
Get the fuck out of here!
Swear to God, yeah. Anyway, this person was like, he didn't have a better reputation on Nintendo.
He gave us too much.
I know.
He gave us too much. We didn't deserve it all.
And I believe that if he didn't tragically die, getting hit by a car, that he probably the Wonder Swan probably would have been more successful. Because between when he retires from Nintendo in like 95, the Wonder Swan comes out. What, 96? Which is really fast. Oh no, released in 90.
I have no idea.
Developed the technology in 97, released in 99. So it was released posthumously, which I guess I didn't realize.
Which one?
The Wonder Swan.
The first one?
The first Wonder Swan.
He wasn't even around for the crystal?
He wasn't even around for the crystal.
Huh.
He wasn't even around for the first one, let alone the Crystal.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
But in the brief period of time between the release of the Wonder Swan and the release of the Game Boy Advance, the Wonder Swan managed to take 10% of the handheld market from Nintendo. That's crazy.
Globally?
No, it's in Japan.
Oh, okay. That is still, yeah, that's massive.
Yeah, it's huge. Whoa. Sorry, hold on.
Oh, don't. I see you wanting. Don't you? Damn it.
Wow, you totally screwed that one up, huh?
Hey.
Class E.
Hey.
Class E. Oh, is this your Porsche you can't drive?
Yeah.
Okay. And I heard about the spitting out problem.
And that's an uphill, so that's a tough one because there's so much weight on your back wheels.
I like that your steering wheel here is not a steering wheel, but it's like a steering bow tie.
A yoke.
I believe it's called a steering wheel.
We can repair most
Well,
of the damage.
they call them yokes when they're
What do you have to crack an egg to get to it? Whip. Work in progress.
I'm just gonna reset here. I'm not gonna wait for the. Oh, they're making us wait. Get out of here. What is going on? Oh, okay.
Anyway, yes, the Wonder Swan for being released.
There we go.
For being released at a time when the Game Boy Color existed, the fact that the Wonder Swan was able to sell the way that it did. But then I just feel like there was no there was no leadership. There's no way to take over.
Right.
Like Yokoi was kind of a crazy guy. I feel like
the guy though.
He was the guy. I mean, he was the guy. He was really the guy.
Like, what if
Donkey Kong, Gunpei Yokoi, Donkey Kong.
Wait, no, Gunpei Yokoi
Yeah.
didn't do Donkey Kong.
He did it with Miyamoto.
He did?
Yeah, he did.
Are you sure?
He was the first. He was the second developer hired by Nintendo. He was the person who took Donkey Kong from Miyamoto and showed it to Nintendo and said, "Hey, we got to make this."
Oh.
Yeah. Crazy.
Motherfucker.
Anyway, this comment was the reason I know all this is because this comment was like the reason why he disappeared from Nintendo wasn't because he had a bad reputation. It's because he died in a car accident. And then I was like, that's not true. Well, I don't know if I can't prove that he had a bad reputation at Nintendo because of the Wonder Virtual Boy. But I saw the comment and I was like, wait, but he left the company a year and a half before he died. So you know, it's not like he was at Nintendo. He left. Whoa, what was that?
That was I guess it must have been a wheel lockup or
Something. Anyway, that's when I was looking up Gunpei Yokoi because I was like, I didn't rewatch the video that was being commented on, so I don't know exactly what we said. But I just looked up Gunpei Yokoi just to see what that period of his life was like, and that's when I saw the Tamagotchi. I was like, oh my god, this madman did the Tamagotchi.
I don't know how to drive this thing.
And there's a section on his Wikipedia page, lateral thinking with withered technology. Yokoi said the Nintendo way of adapting technology is not to look for the state of the art, but to utilize mature technology that can be mass-produced cheaply.
Totally.
He articulated his philosophy of lateral thinking with the technology, also translated as lateral thinking with seasoned technology. I like withered. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Withered technology in this context
is not really accurate though, because that really makes it sound like there's something wrong with it.
But I kind of like that. I kind of like that it like this is something that you thought was trash, but I'm going to take it and turn it into something fun. Withered technology in this context was refers to a mature technology which is cheap and well understood. Yokoi held that toys and games do not need to require cutting-edge technology. Novel and fun gameplay are more important. In the interview, he suggested that expensive cutting-edge technology can get in the way of developing a new product. The Game & Watch was developed based on this philosophy. At the time of its development, Sharp and Casio were fiercely competing in the digital calculator market. For this reason, there was a glut of liquid crystal displays and semiconductors. The lateral thinking was to find an original and fun use for this cheap and abundant technology. And then later it says here that I can't find exactly that he had the idea. Oh, I should just find it to quote the directly. What the fuck?
Let's get a replay on that one.
So there we go. Yes. While traveling on the Shinkansen Railway, Yokoi supposedly saw a bored businessman playing with an LCD calculator by pressing the buttons. Yokoi then got the idea for a watch that doubled as a miniature video game.
58,008.
Sorry, 58,000 what?
58,008, the boobs number.
Oh, boobs. Yeah, he was typing boobs. Yeah. Here this, by the way. In 81, Yamauchi appointed Yokoi to supervise Donkey Kong, an arcade game created by Shigeru Miyamoto. Yokoi explained the many intricacies of game design to Miyamoto at the beginning of his career, and the project only came to be approved after Yokoi brought Miyamoto's game ideas to the president's attention.
Here is a thing that they just gave out for free as a dirt micro sprint car. Have you seen these dirt sprint cars where the whole thing is a wing?
Whoa, that's cool. No, what is that?
There's apparently no amount of downforce that's too much for when you're on a dirt oval. Oh, I don't know, like, what... Oh, that's not...
Let's see. Belton, correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah.
Speaking of the famous Donkey Kong guys, y'all been focusing or following the Billy Mitchell scandal / lawsuits recently a little bit. What it seemed like was there was kind of a vague update to that allowed Billy Mitchell to be like put back on the what is the name of the website?
Twin Galaxies
website with a heavily asterisked. And then Billy Mitchell came out and sort of spun that as if he won his like long-standing lawsuit. This was the last thing that I saw.
Stupid.
It was like 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but that was the last thing that I saw was that he had spun this sort of like historical, like here's our list of all the people who have ever been on this list. Asterisk Billy Mitchell was disqualified. And he spun that into like finally they're righting the wrongs.
Man, yeah, it's funny. It's great to have gotten years later confirmation that the King of Kong really did not do that much work to spin Billy Mitchell into like an egomaniacal villain. Like he's literally like these world record video game scores. These are everything I have. This is what makes me special. This is what puts me above people.
Yeah, well, that and his America tie.
Yeah.
Apparently the update is that he's suing Twin Galaxies again.
Good.
He's like a demon. He's like the personification of a curse that has been placed on Twin Galaxies. I'm sure that they would like nothing but to never hear about that fucking guy again at this point. Like leave us alone. Stop suing us. How many times can you sue the same website? Where is he even getting the money from?
It's from his hot sauce empire.
Oh, it's from his hot sauce empire, of course. For allegedly violating the terms of their settlement that resulted in the archival leaderboard as well.
Oh wait, you got to look at these cars though. Check out the wheels on the back. Like, they're completely different sizes. Oh, it's gone.
Then the wheels on the front or then
on the back of the car?
So there's a wing on this car. What is the wing for? The wing is to increase the downforce so that you can go faster and turn harder without flying.
Yeah, to push it into the dirt to increase the traction.
So it's basically a giant spoiler.
Yes.
It's a spoiler so big that it looks like a wing.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, a wing is just another word for a spoiler.
Oh, sure.
But it's just funny because
But it's the opposite. It's a wing that even if it didn't look like a wing, if you called it a wing,
these tracks are banked, and to compensate for that, the right rear wheel is like twice the size of the left one. Shit,
that's very funny. Yeah, I could see it a little bit on that one.
Here, I'll get out, and then we can see like a replay.
King of Kong is so good.
I know, it's unbelievable.
It honestly, Billy Mitchell is such a terrible guy that like I almost wish they went a little harder on him in that movie. Like by the end, it fully is like Billy Mitchell cheated. Like he's a cheater and a shithead.
Yeah.
And still, I feel like he got off kind of easy.
What a strange guy. And you can see how it's like, I don't know. Like I said, at the time it was kind of like, how much of a, like, you know, how much of Billy Mitchell coming off as like a weird jerk is just constructed by the editing? And I'm gonna say like none.
I'm gonna say almost none. Yeah, like almost none.
Like there's a part later in the documentary where like Steve Wiebe goes out to like meet everyone, and it's like everyone from Billy's circle comes in and says hi to him and meets him and talks to him, and Billy Mitchell like walks into the room, doesn't look at him, like does a lap and then leaves or whatever.
Yeah. I you know what it really is that the Steve part of the story kind of peters out.
Yeah.
And I just wish that there was some justice for Steve.
Yeah. Well, he gets his post-credits glory in the thing.
Yeah. It just feels like to me it felt like watching that movie that like Steve was a sad guy and he was sort of looking for community, and instead the movie becomes about like Billy Mitchell being this weird underhanded shithead.
Yeah.
And stops like doesn't have as much to say about like Steve thinking that he had like a place to go that would have been with a bunch of like-minded people, and they all kind of fucked him over in order to suck Billy Mitchell's dick a little longer.
Yeah, they do kind of try to spin this story of like what would really make Steve Wiebe happier is if he got a high-ranking Donkey Kong score. It's like, I don't know if I buy that, but it's fun. I'm gonna get out of here before something bad happens, like a race.
This in the chat, this absolutely is heavily implied in the movie, I think. But Belton says, also Walter Day and several higher ups at Old Twin Galaxies apparently colluded to prop up Billy Mitchell as the greatest gamer ever, disqualifying competitors' high scores, helping Billy fake his scores, etc., in order to boost the popularity of the Twin Galaxies brand. Ugh. This is like very high. That's like highly implied in the King of Kong movie. And definitely seems like it's been a while since I saw the movie, but I remember there were like when this stuff comes out, there was a lot of
Irwindale.
There was a lot of resignations from Twin Galaxy around that time, and like you can just tell in the movies that like some of those guys are like, we got Billy's back. Like we're gonna like be weird about other people's scores.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so weird because it's like, okay, Billy Mitchell's kind of famous, but like I fail to see how that really helps Twin Galaxies. Like, wouldn't a real competition that people care about, like, isn't that what? Like, the best video gamer ever, it's decided, and it's Billy Mitchell, and he's our guy. I don't see how that helps, having a static personality as your, like, mascot man. I don't really understand. It just seems like bad business, actually.
Wait, sorry. Oh my God.
I don't see how having one... Say again?
They have real weather in this? Like, the actual weather at Okayama right now?
That's cool.
Sorry, the big thing is they just added rain, Keith. Rain
Wow.
just got here.
They just got rain. They just invented rain.
It took them years because, their thing, they said, we don't want to do rain until it can be amazing. So it has, like, I guess, it will model where puddles form at the lowest points and stuff like that. How do we...
Well, I was saying that it doesn't seem actually like a good business move for Twin Galaxies to, like, make sure that the #1 slot of best gamer never changes.
Right. Yeah. What is that?
Like,
You're right.
Like WWE, where the same guy wins every year. Actually, that's true. The same guy did win every year, right? At WrestleMania. Didn't the Undertaker win like 1 million in a row?
No. Oh, well, I can't remember. I thought it was always just he won his match, but it wasn't like always the title match.
I thought that it was like always or there was like one specific match that he always wins. Anyway, but I think the principle applies.
I thought the Undertaker always had a match at WrestleMania that he always won. I don't know if it was always like the most important match at.
Yeah.
I suppose there's a lot of matches at Mania. That's what makes it a Mania.
Right. It's a Mania, and it is a Mania.
And it is a Mania for sure. For sure, it is a Mania.
So I brought up Gunpei Yokoi because I was thinking a lot about the Dreamcast and the Dreamcast, the thing that Sega probably doesn't have is the money and the supply chain to make a video game the actual part of making the video game console is the part that I don't think that they could do.
No. And all the people that would know anything about making that
takes hundreds of millions of dollars.
Pretty sure they left when they stopped making those.
But here's
they're all dead.
Just forget about those people. The people that made the Dreamcast, they're all dead.
They're all dead. And Yuji Naka's in jail.
Yuji Naka is in jail, actually.
All the people who made the Sonic games you love are imprisoned.
I was just thinking about like the Wither technology thing, the fact that I've got this very powerful Xbox Series X that both has no games on it because it takes longer than the life cycle of a video game console to develop one game for it now. And the fact that it also still isn't powerful enough to play games that PCs can play. And this seems like a big problem to me that games are just about the best looking games all the time.
Not all of them.
It takes not all of them, sure, not all of them, but the ones that make money to sell consoles do.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think, maybe it turns out that the console market was something that was only viable in a moment where video games were sort of in their infancy and people's like daily life adoption of technology was also kind of still ramping up. Right? Because now it's just like everyone has now it's just sort of like everyone has a PC they use for all their media and stuff. Like they just have their living room TV hooked up to a computer now.
Media's definitely changed. But if you think about it this way, this is why I think the Xbox works really well for me, is that it provides I thought that guy was gonna crash right into you.
Yeah, you're a ghost in the pit lane.
It's like, my Xbox has all of the media apps on it that I use. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it does do a really good job. I use it more to be a Roku than to be an Xbox, but I use it for both. And so it's like, it does the thing that a smart TV or a Roku, and not that PlayStation 5 doesn't do that. I just don't think it does it as well. It's harder to find things. It's more buttons to get to where I want to go.
Yeah.
As a brand new owner of PS5, even Kyle agrees.
Yeah, I have to say the PS5, and I expected this, which is why it took so long to buy one. Definitely, for sure, the least. The most whelming game console purchase of my whole life, maybe.
Wow.
In terms of like console that is like the top of the line one at the time when I bought it.
And I'll say this: I bought the Xbox Series X when it was brand new. I feel similarly, but I will say that the I can't remember what the actual name of the feature is. Instant resume thing, where I could have I can have dozens of games in like a saved state, as long as I don't shut down the system. It works so well that it has been worth it just for that almost. And not that I haven't played a bunch of games on it as well, but just like booting up a game that I played 4 months ago, and it's like right back where I was in half a second. It's like, it's so good. And the PS5 has that, but only for one game at a time.
Yeah, something like that.
It's like 3 seconds faster, but only for one game.
Has that for everything.
Yeah, it has it for everything. Yeah. And that's great, and I really, really like that. But again, it had almost no games on it. It's better at playing, everything that I've played almost, besides like Judgment 2, and like MLB, the show, has been Xbox One games and older, pretty much, because Halo Infinite.
Funnily, the most exciting thing about getting the PS5 was that it has almost total backwards compatibility with PS4, so I instantly had like 300 games, and it was like opening like an old box of toys, like, oh yeah, this thing, and this thing, and this thing.
Yeah, and Games Pass works pretty much the same way, where it's like, oh, this is like I'll try this weird thing, or it's like, oh, this older game from 6 years ago is on here. Let's play that for a little while. And that's been good. I played all the Yakuza games famously. Yeah. Not all of them. I played.
You're absolutely famous for that.
Yeah. Well, to Run Button listeners.
Jeez, I mean, why are you downplaying it?
You're right. Worldwide, it is worldwide. I was being coy.
Yeah, don't be so modest.
Anyway, so it is
that you were the guy. Like how that guy had all that money rained down on him from the Millennium Tower at the end of Yakuza. Mm-hmm. That was like you, but for Yakuza games. You were like, that's the best. All the games.
that is the best on Kiryu character as well. That guy's great. Anyway, just like, all right, we have a market full of laid off video game developers.
Sure.
We've got a problem where video game consoles have horribly bloated development cycles and produce, I'm going to say horribly bloated AAA games also.
Yeah.
Games that are too long and are full of trash for no reason. This game, it looks too good, it's too long, and the length is not helping.
Hey, I'm hearing Dragon's Dogma 2 is like 40 hours.
It is.
Sounds
I'm almost
good.
Done with it. Yeah, I've got something like 55 hours in it, and that's because I took some time doing a bunch of other stuff. I could have ended this game hours ago if I wanted to. And then there's a new game plus that people say is great. I don't know, maybe I'll do that.
They say that, but I heard the challenge does not increase. So whatever you've got going on, it continues.
I don't know. We'll see.
Again, yeah, I don't know anything about the thing. So,
but I'm just thinking, I'm playing these Dreamcast games, and I'm like, God, the Dreamcast was so good. I knew it then. I've always known it.
Yeah.
But they're just like, it just seems like there's a deadlock in the console market. Someone needs to come in who's prepared to make a less powerful system, who's prepared to sell fewer consoles.
Well,
than Nintendo.
We have a less powerful console. Yeah,
right. It's the Switch. But I think there needs to be 2 Switches. That's the thing. I think 2 different companies need to make their version of the Switch.
Well, I think a lot of people are trying to make their version of the Switch right now. Got the Steam Deck.
That's not a Switch. That's a PC.
The ROG Ally.
That's not a Switch. That's a PC.
Same. I mean, a Switch is just a PC.
There's definitely a computer in that little baby.
Yeah, there's a computer in that little baby.
But it's not a PC.
Famously, there's a computer in that little.
Famously, definitely more famous than the Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the, just, the feeling that, when you get the Neo Geo Pocket Color and you load into you get your little dashboard with your horoscope and your birthday thing, and then you're like, this thing doesn't quite do as much stuff as it seems like it's going to do. Remember that?
All my brain space got taken up by that person pulling away from me. What's up?
Is this a real race?
No, it's practice.
Okay. Do you ever getting a Neo Geo Pocket Color and you put in your horoscope and stuff, or you put in your birthday to get your horoscope, and you're like,
horoscope.
Oh, there's like look, it's like the Nintendo DS, but I don't even know what a Nintendo DS is. It's got like a home page, a video game console with like a home page. What is this even?
I can tell that one day there'll be something called the Nintendo DS. This is a lot like that.
Yeah, right. And
it was actually very novel for a portable system to have like a system level menu.
Yeah, but I just, I'm just like, give me a video game console that'll give me my horoscope again. You know what I mean?
I don't know that we can recapture that magic because I definitely don't care about my.
Well, you have to translate it to 2024.
Right.
Or, I'm going to say actually hitting shelves 2027.
Okay.
Isn't Sony making a weird Switch thing? I don't think so. I think they're making a screen that will stream your PS5 to.
Yeah, they're doing something. Yeah, and I definitely think it'll be way more than that one.
I was thinking about Sony as well.
I think
Remember the PSP?
I think Steam Deck is like maybe the new model. Like but whatever the Switch and the Steam Deck collectively represent, that is the new handheld paradigm. There's no going back.
I just think we're just in a really low point for console design.
Yeah. We're also in a low point for console use, so apparently.
I mean, make a Sega. Sega needs to spin up some hardware production. Make a fucking Linux console. Just make it a PC that's also a console. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I'll say that the Steam Deck isn't what I'm talking about. I hate.
Yeah, I think you're still just talking about the Steam Deck.
No, I'm not talking about the Steam Deck.
How?
The Steam Deck is because this is what it is. There's no. Steam is a bad platform in that it's both universal and it also has no real first party.
Well, it used to. It for real used to.
It's been so long. Sega makes more games than Valve does by like 1 billion times.
That was always true.
First party games, mid 2000s. I don't know about that. They were busy struggling. They were busy trying not to go out of business in the mid 2000s. They had to receive basically $1 billion loan from an old billionaire that liked them.
How can I drive in the rain?
That's something that I either never knew or forgot about, by the way.
What?
Let's see.
Does it have to support rain?
I want to get the name. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, what is this? What is this headline? Oh no, that's fake.
Oh my gosh, no one's. We'll jump into this race in progress as a ghost. That's a fun little feature this game has, is you can just enter any in progress race as a ghost, and it's kind of like you get to practice with real people, but they don't even know you're there. Oh gosh, I thought this was different track than I thought. What you doing?
Just looking at video game stuff. Here we go.
How do these people have safety ratings above 4? That can't happen. What'd you do?
This was the thing that I was thinking of was CSK chairman Isao Okawa, who replaced Iri Majiri as president of Sega on May 22nd, 2000. He had long advocated that Sega abandon the console business. Let's see. And then...
and, you know... I gotta say, like... I've had a lot of years at this point to reflect on it. I think we can say this was the absolute wrong decision for them, I think.
It was the wrong decision.
Like, people forget, like, Sonic used to really actually be as popular as Mario.
I've been watching a bunch of this stuff and what went wrong for Sega, and it's kind of astonishing the way things went down and how quickly things went down. So anyway, Okawa loaned in 1999. Sega was about to go out of business. Not in 1999. They were about to go out of business. In 1999, Okawa loaned $500 million of his own money to Sega.
What? $500 million?
$500 million to keep them from going out of business. They were really out of money. And then he did two things. So first of all, he loaned them $500 million. Then he forgave that debt on his deathbed.
Whoa.
And willed to Sega all of his shares of Sega.
What?
Yes, he
oh my God.
It's crazy that I had never heard of this.
That is amazing.
He saved Sega. Sega was going to literally go out of business.
When was this?
This was in 2001.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And they were like, we better kill our business right now.
This was basically, he gifted them this money and said, please become a successful video game publisher instead. And they said, it'll take us a little bit, but yes, we will do that.
Whoa.
Yes.
Oh, right, because it was his thing. He was like, please stop. Like, I'll give you all of my Sega shares, and I will forgive all your debt. Just please stop making consoles.
Yes, basically, yes.
Wow.
Okawa, who loaned Sega $500 million in 1999, died on March 16th, 2001. Shortly before his death, he forgave Sega's debts to him and returned his $695 million worth of Sega and CSK stock. So he gave them over $1 billion, essentially, helping Sega survive. So what they needed was a ton of capital to spin up and do a video game publisher,
and that
because you can't just become a video game publisher overnight. You know what I mean?
I think the common thinking at the time was like, well, aren't they already a major video game publisher? Like, they do this.
Well,
they've got the developers,
kind of,
you know.
I think it's a different thing.
They had to learn all new platforms to develop on and stuff.
He also was the person who tried to sell Sega to Xbox or to merge with Microsoft to make the Xbox. This was like
my hood seems to be stuck inside of my truck.
It's funny. It's actually the thing that created the PS1, the failed talks with Nintendo and Sega to make a joint console with Sony. Instead, that same thing happened. Sega absolutely was part of that. All of Nintendo of America had signed off to co-develop and co-share the costs of a console development with PlayStation, with Sony. Sorry, pre-PlayStation didn't exist. And all of Sega of America signed on, and Sega of Japan said, no way. And then within 3 years, Sony had killed Sega.
Right, it was because Sony, like, basically, Nintendo showed Sony the door, and Sony went to Sega to be like, we want to get back at these guys.
Yes, right. And then Sega showed them the door, specifically Sega of Japan.
Jeez.
And then Sony announcing the PlayStation is why they had to do the Saturn.
Yeah, and
They literally killed themselves with all of their bad decisions.
And I think even they I remember in the Console Wars book there was something about how like they were also offered like the chance to have the technology that went into the N64 and they turned that down also.
Oh my god.
And then, and also the PS1 and then famously made the far less technically capable of the 3 systems.
Yeah. It was very close to as technically capable, but way harder to develop for.
Right, okay.
I'll say this.
Right.
The Sega Saturn had one massive advantage over the PlayStation, and it's kind of shitty, but this is just a sign of the time. But it was also a sign. It was also a classic Sega thing that I think people did not like at the time either. But the RAM carts. The PS1 and the Sega Saturn had 2 megabytes of RAM. And for a disc-based console where you can store 600 and something megabytes of data, having 2 megabytes of RAM means like, okay, so we have all of this storage and nowhere to put it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until really late in the PS1's life cycle where they had like really developed a way to load in parts of levels and do more loading behind the scenes, which is why a lot of PS1 games don't hold up at all, because everything is horrible gray hallways with nothing in them, because you had to have character models and a level, and there was no room for any detail in your 2 megs of RAM. But with the Sega Saturn RAM cartridges, you could have RAM cartridges, you could have 6 whole megabytes of RAM.
Oh man, and what'd they use that for?
They use that mostly to make the backgrounds in fighting games look better. That is true. That's absolutely true. But yeah, it's a shame because so much of the talk about the Dreamcast is about like how the Dreamcast killed Sega and the Dreamcast wasn't good enough.
Oh,
Dreamcast is amazing.
Yeah, the Dreamcast. What actually happened? It was my hand to God
in the Saturn.
My hand to God, the Saturn killed Sega, and it just took through the Dreamcast for it to take.
Well, right, that is 100% true. But you remember why the Saturn killed Sega and how the 32X was involved?
Oh, right. It was like
So I watched. So correct if you have more detail to add, feel free. But my understanding of what happens is the Atari Jaguar is announced, 64 bits, and
my brain almost refuses to believe that anything important in video games could have happened in response to the Atari Jaguar.
Well, the announcement of the Atari Jaguar is like the first domino in the domino meme that kills Sega, because it gets the fucking president of Sega going, "Oh my god, we need to figure out how to defend ourselves against the Atari Jaguar." And they're like, "We need a 32-bit console." And Sega of America was like, "Well, someone had the idea of making a new add-on to the Genesis." Right. And well, this is the thing. I now fully believe the 32X was a good idea and the Sega Saturn was a bad idea. And if only one of them existed, the Saturn existing is way worse than the 32X existing.
I just don't think the 32X had enough potential. Like, the disc brings a lot to it.
But the thing is, instead of making the Saturn, they could have made the 32X and then made something good instead of... Okay, here's what happens. Sega of America
sounds like the problem is the Saturn.
Sega of America goes, yeah, the problem's the Saturn. How about instead of the Saturn... And there was problems with why the Saturn wouldn't be a good idea. I think it was like, why would we build a 32-bit console to like defend against a 64-bit console? Shouldn't we do a 64-bit console? And Japan goes, no, it's too expensive or something. And so then he's like, okay, well, how about this? How about we can, instead of making a whole console as a stopgap for our next console, how about we put a 32X as an add-on to the Sega Genesis? And they say, okay, we won't make the Saturn, we'll instead do the 32X. And then America goes, okay, let's make the 32X. And then instead of putting any actual development resources into making games for the 32X, Sega of Japan goes, okay, fuck that guy. We're making the Saturn behind his back, literally behind his back.
Oh, you might.
And so
be
that's
right.
why within like 18 months, they had a 32-bit console and a 32-bit add-on console.
I definitely remember. Yeah. Oh god.
Which is insane. That's the part of this that's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you make a 32-bit thing to sell us and then make a new 32? Like, what are you talking? Why are there two 32-bit things? So the 32X comes out. It actually sells a ton. They sell like a million and a half of them.
True.
They sold like 1.5 million of them.
But
and they sold a million. They sold 600,000.
True.
It's true. They sold 600,000 32Xs in America. I've
heard so many anecdotal stories from people being like going to a store and just seeing like huge discount bins of 32X.
Right, and it's not because no one bought a 32X. A ton of people bought a 32X, and then they didn't put out any games for it.
Right.
There was a handful of busted games at the start.
Yeah.
And then by the end of its life, they had only put out 40 32X capable games.
Right.
And so the problem wasn't the 32X as much as it was that there was no games to play on it.
Yeah.
Because, well, listen, there's fun games on the fucking Game Boy. You can make a good game on trash. We've learned that from Gunpei Yokoi.
That was the whole thing. He loved trash.
Right. And so then the other, this is the famous thing. Belton in the chat says, didn't they do the "and it's out today" thing? Sega of America begged to not have to do this.
Sega of
They were like,
America
please don't do this. This will absolutely ruin our chances at selling a lot of Saturns in America. And Japan is Japan, so they say, well, the only country that matters is Japan, so do what we say.
Yeah, like I remember like the book Console Wars, which I think is kind of like controversial for being slightly sensationalized and heavily like narrativized or whatever. But the narrative really goes like around the time when all this stuff is happening is when Sega of America starts to go, please. They basically say please no to everything, and Sega of Japan just keeps going, sorry, we're doing it. And like kind of the background to this is like Sega of America has been totally killing it for the whole console generation and has taken Sega from a distant second place to a real contender.
They start the 90s with 50% of the console market share, and by 1994 they were at 50%.
You said 50% twice.
Sorry, they started the 90s with 10% market share, and by 1995 they were at 50%. 1994, something like that.
51%, depending on who
they were slightly ahead. And it's not just them and Nintendo. It's them and Nintendo and Atari and Neo Geo.
Yeah. And not to discount the games themselves, but it was largely due to like a lot of the like marketing efforts from Sega of America. They just had like really successful ad campaigns and stuff.
Well, and games aside, the thing is like taking America seriously as a market for video games.
True.
Which Japanese companies have struggled with, and and not just Japanese companies, but the American presidents of those Japanese companies also have struggled with this. I can't remember. God, I wish.
Oh my God, the wiper, it's wiping.
The Sega of America president at the time, you can call the book, which I haven't read, sensational all you want, but it doesn't stop the direct quote from the Sega of America president saying that being forced to launch the day of Sega Saturn at the first ever E3 was the worst history and the worst decision in the history of business. Is what he said. But yeah, so because
he might be close to that decision.
It confused fans.
Yeah.
It angered smaller retailers, and it totally alienated video game developers who thought they had 4 more months to develop video games for the Saturn. And it slashed their launch title number from like 12 or from 16, something like that, to like 6.
Right. Oh, man.
Tom Kalinske. That's the
Tom
guy,
Kalinske was their like star over in Sega of America,
and he resigns. He resigns like right after this, basically.
It's basically also that like the president or whatever of Sega at the time loves Tom Kalinske. Big surprise, he's doing great things for his business or whatever, and so he's like, I guess it's like the story goes that he is like kind of heavily favoring Sega of America and Tom Kalinske, whatever the hell that means. And
sorry, who is it that's favoring Kalinske?
Like this president of Sega or something.
Oh, okay.
That like basically it sounds like the narrative goes Sega of Japan starts to feel like they are extremely second fiddle, and that, you know, all the attention is going to Sega of America and blah blah blah, and they really like they get people in positions to seriously push back on that when it comes to the Saturn. And that's when you start having these games like Nights into Dreams, where like any American is like, you probably shouldn't bank on this selling well in America. I don't think this is going to appeal to current market tastes in America. And then being like, oh no, Nights into Dreams is our star of our lineup or whatever. And then like, big surprise, no one likes the weird like Cirque du Soleil fairy game.
I think people like Nights into Dreams.
I have still never played it, and I'm not sure that I do like it, actually. It doesn't seem good.
You've never played it?
I like its vibe. I'm not whatever. I've played it a little bit. It hasn't been fun.
Okay. Well, I'm not saying that I am a big Nights into Dreams defender. I just know that for some reason Nights into Dreams has been a punching bag for you for 25 years, but I've never heard anybody else talk shit about Nights.
I have. You just got to find the right people.
Okay. The Nights into Dreams haters, the famous ones.
Well, because, you know, there's two types of people, generally. People who love Nights into Dreams and people who are like, what the fuck is Nights into Dreams? But that second one is way bigger, so it just means that the people that don't like the game mostly haven't played it yet.
I think that we have to go to... I think we have to go back to lock-on technology. That's what I think we need to do. Video games haven't been the same without lock-on technology.
And they weren't the same before it.
Right. Lock-on technology changed the game, and then we as a people, we couldn't handle it, so they swept it under the rug.
It was too good for us.
Yeah. Anyway.
It added Knuckles into Sonic 2. People couldn't handle that.
They couldn't handle it. The part of the Dreamcast story that I think gets overstated is like that, like, and this is true, it launched way closer to the PS2 than I remember. Oh my god, it was so close to
the Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast.
Yeah, it was like what, like a year, right?
Yeah. And the PS2 looks better.
Sure.
Definitely the PS2 looks better.
Definitely.
They also they went. This is insane. This is Sega being insane. Again, not the Dreamcast's fault. Okay. The 3DFX, was that the makers of the Voodoo graphics cards?
I think so. This is kind of a blind spot for me, but yeah. I think
so 3DFX, I knew it was 3D something. 3DFX was making the chip for the Dreamcast, and because of a court document, it got leaked that they were making the chip for the Dreamcast, and Sega got really, really mad that the Dreamcast, whose design hadn't even finalized, had its chip leaked.
Okay.
And so they paid millions and millions of dollars in breach of contract fees to take the chip out of the Dreamcast because of having been exposed. Like, the leak, they were so mad about this leak that they just set millions of dollars on fire to take it out of the system. And then they put in a worse chip by, get this, Hitachi, the fucking jerk-off wand people.
And, like, the thing that you're saying, like, they did this, like, more or less exact same thing with the Saturn or something. Like, some equally boneheaded and similar thing with the Saturn, too. So they just couldn't stop themselves at this point.
Although, sort of silver linings, this move made EA very upset. Well, they claim that it wasn't because they were buddy with the 3DFX people, and they're like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't because the reason we didn't sell our games on the Dreamcast wasn't because of the 3DFX being our friends. It's because the person that they chose to replace the 3DFX was this fucking no-name brand. And it was a worse chip, and it was like, who the fuck are these people? And so we were like, no thanks. And that is why the 2K sports games exist.
Right, yeah, they had to make their own sports.
And those were the best games on the Dreamcast, like, according to a lot of people.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. I was playing NBA 2K2. That game's good.
I was playing NFL 2K2. That game is good.
You were playing NFL 2K2? Recently?
Oh, no. I was back in 2K2,
playing.
I was doing that.
Back in 2K2, you were doing it. Belton says the PS2 also had copy protection, a notable win over the Dreamcast. No, that's actually worse. You don't want copy protection.
Yeah.
You want people to pirate your games, for sure. Because here's why. I can explain this. Makes a lot of sense. Let's say that you're someone with the know-how to pirate video games. Somehow, I was pirating video games, and I didn't know that the Dreamcast was easy to pirate for. It just never even occurred to me to try and... Like, I was emulating the Super Nintendo.
But I think the problem is that, like, a lot of the target market for the Dreamcast was, like, the college student. And that was exactly who was tech-savvy enough to, like...
Right. But think of it this way. One, in order to pirate a Dreamcast game, you need to have bought a Dreamcast. So, checkbox 1, that's a win. Number 2, you need to be into video games. So you're probably also, and by probably I mean every study that gets shown about people who pirate are like above average spenders in that category. So it's like, you'll hear people be like, the Dreamcast was so easy to pirate for. That's why it died. I had a Dreamcast library of 30 games, and I only bought 10 of those.
You know what?
Okay, well, they sold you 10 games. That's way more than the average person who's buying games.
And you know what? That's bullshit, because, like, I guess it was kind of a big deal that you didn't need a mod chip to play pirated games. But one, you did need a computer with a disk burner and the know-how to burn things correctly, which was not a nothing barrier at the time.
Yeah.
And tons of people had PS1 mod chips, now that I think about it. Like, Brad Shoemaker's always telling his story about how, like, he gets to college and his college roommate is like, oh, hey, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid, like, from Japan that just came out that I downloaded.
Yeah. Well, not to mention the Bleem.
And the Bleem.
I
didn't know about Bleemcast until years later.
Well, Bleem started on PlayStation.
What is Bleem again? Well, Bleem has had multiple forms. It was like...
Bleem was a commercial emulator for the PlayStation 1 and the Dreamcast.
Well, what was it? What did it do on the PS1?
I think it did the same thing.
Well, what it did on Dreamcast was let you play certain PS1 games on your Dreamcast.
I think that it also let you play PS1 games on your PS1.
Wait. What?
I think it worked kind of like a mod chip.
Oh, okay. Yeah, swap disc. Oh, yeah. Fucking PS1s also had swap discs, so you didn't need a mod chip.
Yeah. I'm not saying that like, it's sort of like how when a restaurant, whenever you like use a cup for water and they're like, these cups add up. Like you taking this cup is like stealing 25 cents. And it's like, that's not really how this works. No. Like you have to weigh the revenue lost from pirated games versus the games that those people were inspired to buy because they're a fan of the console.
True.
Which is, again, it always works out. People who pirate movies also spend a lot of money on movies. People who pirate games and books, they spend money on games and books higher than average.
I have to say, and I know that the example I'm about to bring up is a slightly unique case because of like the form in which you were able to pirate, but I do genuinely think I legitimately spent way less on Nintendo DS games because I had the flash card. Like,
no, but it's about
Like, I didn't buy DS games, like, at all, is my point. Like,
right.
Like, zero.
Well, how many DS games did you buy?
Like 5 or less.
5 or less for the whole life of the Nintendo DS?
And I played, like, dozens, and, like, I played, like, every game for the DS.
But then how many DS games is Nintendo counting on you to buy as an average buyer of a Nintendo DS?
Yeah, like 2.
Right, exactly. That's my point. Is that you
right.
bought 3 more games than they needed you to buy.
Okay.
Yes.
Good point.
You see what I mean?
Yep, you're right. Hey, and when you're right, you're right. And you're
right.
always right.
I've thought so hard about piracy.
I mean, me too, but mostly mine has been grog-centered.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Very. Yeah. Very Monkey Island based piracy.
Oh yeah. It's mostly my grog thinking is my cup transfer strategy for how I would drink it without it rotting through the cup.
And it's like, piracy's not perfect. Obviously, things slip through the cracks. I've been pirating games for 26 years. Because I got started so young playing Japanese Pokemon Green before Pokemon was released in America.
Yellow?
Famously. No, Green.
Wow. I never heard about that until maybe you told me that sometime in the last year. But before that, I hadn't heard of it.
About Pokemon Green or about me pirating those games?
Yeah, like one time I came to your house and you were playing Pokemon Yellow, and that totally blew, like on an emulator, and it was in Japanese, and that completely blew my mind. And I don't think I even knew about emulators before that, but I hadn't even heard about the Green thing.
I cannot believe that as a 5-year-old I played through Pokemon Green without being able to read a single word. It's crazy.
Hey, man. Some 5-year-olds probably played through that game in English without being able to read a single word.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Well, I could read English at the time. That's how I did the emulators.
Think outside the oval.
So I'm personally invested in making good pro-piracy arguments because I've been doing it my whole life. And some things slip through the cracks, like especially for kids, where it's like, as a kid, I was downloading music and I was never buying music because I had no money. But even then, you look at it and it's not exactly true because I had like 10 CDs. That's not a ton, but it's not nothing. And I was, that was my money I was spending on CDs. Sure, I had a whole library of classic rock music as a little 10-year-old with a early MP3 player, and never bought any of that. But then it's like, well, who was getting my money for a Led Zeppelin CD anyway?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
This is the other thing from Beltone. Also, if you're pirating music or games because you literally can't afford them, it's not as if they're going to make a sale off you to begin with.
Yeah.
Right. That's like the two halves of like, they count on every person who buys a console to buy something like 3 games, like, and then that's a win for them. And then on the other side is, if you were only going to ever buy 5 games max, regardless of how many you pirated, then who cares? Like, it's just like, the real thing it did is I own a Switch because I grew up playing pirated Super Nintendo games. Like, probably not. You know what I mean? It's probably not untrue that I own 15, 20 Nintendo Switch games because I grew up playing stolen Nintendo emulator.
No, Keith. Emulation has never done anything but steal money directly from Hiroshi Yamauchi's pockets.
They're so short-sighted.
It's wild. They're, yeah.
This is why we need Sega back. The heroes.
Yeah, Sega, because they were in second place for so long, it made it easy for them to play the nice guy, but they were much friendlier about most things like that.
This was the thing about, the personality thing about, people who were in charge at the time being like, we were the underdogs and the heroes of people loved us in 1993 and 1994, and then all of a sudden they released the Sega, the 32X after having already released the Sega CD, And then they released the Saturn, and it's like now all of a sudden people are like we're greedy. It's like, what do you mean we're greedy? We're Sega.
And over the whole time all this is happening with the Saturn and the 32X and all this shit, one of the biggest problems is they can't get a real Sonic game out the door to save their lives.
No, and it's actually probably good that they didn't put too much development behind a Sonic game on the Saturn, because it couldn't have played a good one anyway.
Well, unfortunately, I think they did put a lot of development behind it. It just didn't end up getting released because it sucked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true. Hey, we got Sonic 3D Blast out of it. Wait, was that for the Saturn originally?
No.
No?
The Genesis originally, the Saturn version was the make good for when they canceled Sonic Extreme, the real Saturn game.
Right. Yeah.
And footage of Sonic Extreme has surfaced.
It's really bad.
And it looks rough.
It looks rough. Yeah. But some of the best games you could play are on the Saturn.
Yeah. And
just bad luck. Panzer Dragoon Saga.
True. There's
Police Knots.
Absolutely good games on there. Police Knots was a Sega CD.
It was Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1.
How dare you? It must have been out on Sega CD.
I believe it was Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1.
I bet it would be on Saturn and CD.
Nope. The 3DO, the PlayStation, and the Sega Saturn.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm just thinking about Snatcher.
Yeah, thinking about Snatcher.
Snatcher is Hideo Kojima.
Snatcher is the Sega CD for sure.
Game. I thought they both were, but yeah.
I've been playing a lot of old games, so I've been thinking a lot about old games.
Yeah, that's so crazy because you don't usually do that.
We've swapped.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
Hey,
now.
Thanks for hanging out with me while I raced.
You're welcome.
And
you did race.
The hourly and I raced.
You raced.
Just the one though.
People watching this can go to contentburger.biz to support the show. We've been very inconsistent recently, but we've got like a kind of a schedule and a list of things that we want to get to. And that's a huge improvement.
But unfortunately, all of it's getting shelled for So You Mom You Can Game.
Oh, did you like my idea?
Oh, yeah. Didn't you
see such a response? Funny...
It's a fucking really good idea.
It's a great idea because they eat up mom content on the internet.
Yeah.
And also, the title is, I think, literally the smartest thing I've ever thought of in my life. So You Mom You Can Game. People who have watched 2 hours of uRacing deserve to know
it's been 2.
My idea, which is that we will comment on our mothers competing against each other in video games. We will be the commenters.
So good. The best part is
You Mom You Can Game.
They are
neither our mom can game.
Yeah,
the funny.
They're so far outside of video games that we could even try to play into picking games they're most familiar with, and it would still be
here's how little they know about games. I saw my mother and our grandmother today. I had lunch with them and played Scrabble, and they sat me down and they said, "Okay, what is it you do?"
Yeah, I know. It's like, I'm pretty sure I've shown you multiple videos over the years. It's like, yes, but explain
how do you
yourself.
Make money? I told them, "Do you know podcasts?" And they said yes. And I said, "Do you know YouTube?" And I said yes. And I was like, "Okay, I make multiple podcasts and I play video games and release the videos on YouTube, and people pay me to do that like PBS." And they went, "Oh, like PBS." And I was like, "Yes, like
there
PBS.
You go, like PBS." That makes so much sense now.
Yeah. Well, I've explained it that way to my grandfather, who also doesn't understand what I do. Yeah. He just sort of goes like, "You kind of do radio like how I did." So we have a bond over both sort of doing radio. He's like, I know that Keith sort of does radio. I don't really understand it beyond that, but it's sort of radio.
It's certainly the new radio.
It's certainly
there's not anything more modern that's more radio.
Right. Technically, radio is there still, but no one, I think, has listened to that in a while.
And even radio now, they're all just like, hey, we're totally a podcast. Just download our app and you can listen to this like it's a podcast.
How long after the apocalypse do you think those radio stations that are just mostly run by robots, how long do you think they'll keep going?
How long will Mike FM and Big
How long will Mike
keep
FM
broadcasting?
Yes. How long will Mike FM keep broadcasting after the apocalypse?
Oh gosh. I hope years from now when like the cyber mutants are
I want the sequel to Cormac McCarthy's The Road, who actually I think he died recently, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am mistaken. Did Cormac McCarthy die?
That book's within my eyesight right now.
Really? Yeah. You know, he spoke at my college and he was kind of racist.
No, I did not know that. Also, it's not my copy of The Road, but it is here.
He talked a lot. He did the pardon my reference. He did the Bill Cosby thing. Not that. Not that one.
Wait, did he advertise for Jell-O pudding or did he do something else?
No, he just talked a lot about. He's just like talking about kids and young kids.
Yeah. Basically, talking.
Pull up your pants. He just wouldn't stop being like, put on a belt, pull up your pants.
Talking at a bunch of people that have had a 100% different life experience from him, and like
and who weren't 70 years old.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was so different. Alive at different times.
Yeah. So I've always disliked Cormac McCarthy, even though he was from Providence, Rhode Island.
Wow, that's so exciting. Just like you're also from there.
I consider Providence, Rhode Island my home.
You just identify with Providence now. You're like, wow.
I deeply identify with Providence.
A Providencer. He's one of us.
Hey, look. I mean, hey, why don't you come down here? We'll have a Providence. We'll have a Rhode Island style. Crab cakes.
Hey man.
We'll have a New York to Providence style.
I'll come to Providence as soon as you do, because you live in Pawtucket, you little bitch.
Stone's throw. And I lived in Providence for years. That's like you saying that you don't live in Boston.
I know.
I'm probably closer to Providence than you are to Boston.
Yeah, I literally
Actually, I know that I am.
Was one time I was working in Brookline and a guy in a pickup truck was like, "Hey, what part of Boston is this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's not technically Boston, it's Brookline." And he gave me like a big like eye roll or something like whatever, nerd.
This is like Brookline to Boston is like Attleboro to Providence.
I don't know where Attleboro is.
Think of you and then think of Boston. It's like that. It's one town north of me. You drive through two towns called Attleboro when you come here.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Attleboro and North Attleboro.
You don't know that I drive through both of them.
Do you drive on 95? Do you take the only highway from where you are to where I am, not Route 95?
You don't know which way I come to your house.
Okay. All right. Do you go all the way to Woonsocket and then take back roads from Woonsocket to Pawtucket?
I actually drive north and circumvent.
Oh, we got a fucking Magellan.
Yeah, I go north all the way around over both polar caps and then come back.
You sail the Northwest Passage.
Yeah.
By the way, huge news. Kyle found the Northwest Passage.
I found the Northwest Passage and also I can't pull like a crew that was lost and never found at either pole, so never mind.
Fuck. Because
it's not.
Give me a second.
It's not Shackleton, right?
Shackleton. Shackleton.
They made it out, didn't they?
Shackleton, South Pole. What's up?
They made it out.
Shackleton fucking died, right?
I think they made it out. I think that's the amazing part of the story.
Whoa, holy fuck. Shackleton. Wait. No, that's wrong. This is wrong. Death. Let's see. Final Expedition and Death. Yeah, there we go. Expedition South in 1920. Tired of public speaking, he began to consider the possibility of one last expedition.
One last expedition. Ouch.
Yeah. Yep.
You always got to go back in for one last job. Sorry, we'll switch it over because we are just on the Wikipedia page for. Wait, this is Ernest Shackleton. Is that the right Shackleton? This can't be.
Why would it not be Ernest?
Why there's multiple Shackletons who crossed Antarctica? Did some of his crew make it out? Did he die and some of them made it?
No, the story is that there was 2 crews and one of them survived and one of them didn't. Like 2 independent explorers, and I believe that it was Shackleton piloting the Endurance.
Loss of endurance.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Endurance, Shackleton's lost ship, is found in Antarctic. The Endurance, the lost vessel of Antarctic explorer Sir Ernest Shackleton, was found at the weekend at the bottom of the Weddell Sea. The ship was crushed by sea ice and sank in 1915. Well, it says that he lived to be
no. It looks here that it's talking about lifeboats after the Endurance sank. So Shackleton rescue.
Which? Okay.
Shackleton immediately sent a boat to pick up 3 men. So yeah, I think.
Which explorer died in Antarctica?
Quote, all safe, all well. Allegedly, a photo allegedly depicting Shackleton's return to Elephant Island in August 1916.
No, it was Robert Falcon Scott was the one who died.
To create this image, a photograph of the departure of the James Caird in April 1916 was doctored by photographer Frank Hurley. Fuck you, Frank.
Cool.
Eat shit.
Hey, you had to doctor photos in order to capture scenes you weren't there for. It's not like today when you can take a photo of something that you weren't there for.
Oh, yeah, we could just use AI to create the photo you weren't there for.
It was Robert Falcon Scott was the one who died.
Okay, I see.
He led 2 expeditions to Antarctica. The Terra Nova expedition of 1910 to 1913, and that's the one that he died on.
Fascinating. And that's the end of the stream. Okay, bye.
Bye.